Good morning. It is my great pleasure this fresh and glorious morning in Houston, Texas, to welcome you to the Center for Advanced Legal Studies 62nd Commencement. And please pardon my voice. I believe the allergies have gotten to me. Many have long anticipated this day, some with eagerness, some with anxiety, some with nervousness, and some with a complicated mix of emotions. But whatever you are feeling today, you deserve to hold a keen sense of pride. Congratulations. You've reached an educational goal and the beginning of a new career. If you are currently employed in the legal field, kudos. If you are currently employed in the legal field, can you please raise your hand? Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, if you are still looking for that perfect opportunity to get your foot in the door, it is my pleasure to help you, as well as we just recently expanded our staff. And we welcome the return of Tammy Rakes. Tammy, if you can please stand. She is the Director of Community Outreach, and we are both excited to assist you on your journey in the legal field. Certainly, all those gathered here today to celebrate with you, regardless of how you accomplished this milestone, through our online, Saturday, and weekday program, we have tremendous pride in you, as do the many around the country who are with us virtually through our online webcast of today's ceremony. Welcome these online participants and guests as well. It is a fantastic achievement for each of us to have made it here today, and I am proud to share that moment with all of you. On behalf of the class of August 2018, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge those who have gotten us to where we are today. Because the truth is, none of us could do this alone. The first important group of individuals I would like to recognize would be our friends, our family, and our loved ones. If you feel that you are one of these important individuals, I ask you to please stand. Come on, family, friends, loved ones. Now, you can attest to these remarkable individuals, and you put up with the late nights of studying, probably the complaining of the homework assignments, right? And, balancing work, family, career, and education. Thank you so much for that huge round of applause. The next group of individuals we would like to identify is the faculty at Center for Advanced Legal Studies, and we have two wonderful faculty members, Gary DeCero. And some of you may know her as your admissions counselor, Elaine Proppus. Their dedication to their students is a hallmark of our 31-year tradition of excellence in developing paralegals. These instructors do their utmost to ensure the success of their students, and we are excited to share the celebration. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the administration that has been vital to your achievements. I mentioned before Tammy Riggs, Director of Community Outreach, Crystal Camacho, which I'm sure that everyone met at the registration table. She is our excellent administrative assistant. And at that table also was Letty Ramirez, Financial Aid Assistant to the Director of Financial Aid, Lori Baguette. Sarah Casey, our Office Manager. Pete Becerra, a Busher. Our wonderful admissions team of James Sheffer and Elaine Prappis. Our academic dean, Thomas Swanson. Director of Distance Education, and our technology master, Eric Happy. And the co-founder and school director, Mr. Doyle Happy. Through their efforts, with the support of each other, and by the grace of a higher power, we have thrived in the past year to accomplish this achievement. I would like to acknowledge our generous host, South Texas College of Law School, for their wonderful facilities. Also, I want to recognize the students who have overcome life's challenges to become a paralegal. If you feel like I have described any of your journey, I want you to rise, okay? So if you were the first individual in your family to attain post-secondary educational goals, please rise. I'm the first one to do this. Please stand. If I'm a parent, being a role model for your children to achieve their dreams and their education, please rise. If you are a professional wanting a career change and finally embracing it, that's courage. Anyone? Awesome. Now I'm sure all of y'all can take part in this. Working full-time, supporting a family, and just putting up with a lot of stuff, okay? Surpassing obstacles to achieve your education. Please rise. Thank you. Okay, and last but not least, if you're a recent high school graduate and you're wanting entry into a legal career, please stand. Okay. We don't have any here with us, but if you are with us virtually, congratulations in all of these situations. Again, let's give one large round of applause, and it's well deserved to all these remarkable graduates. In recognizing the hard work, dedication, and commitment to excellence, I would like for all the LEX nominees and honor students to rise. These students have demonstrated due diligence in their academic progress and attendance. LEX is the National Honor Society sponsored by the American Association for Paralegal Education. Graduates must have 95% attendance and a 3.9 grade point average. Great accomplishment with balancing the other parts of your life. Congratulations. Center for Advanced Legal Studies has our own honors program. These graduates are extraordinary in their achievements because with all the impediments that life can bring, they still maintain focus on 100% attendance and 4.0 grade point average. All honor graduates are noted in the program and wear a gold cord to signify this special achievement. Please give a big round of applause in recognizing these individuals. Speaking of cords, if you are wearing a red, white, and blue cord, please rise. This cord represents your service to our country. We would like to recognize and thank you for serving our great nation and defending our freedoms that we all enjoy every day. So again, these are extra special veterans here with us. So give them one more round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Finally, I can get off this mic for a minute. I would like to introduce our academic dean, Mr. Thomas Swanson, to share his insights on your journey, and then he will introduce our alumni commencement speaker.
Good morning, everyone. I'm always uncomfortable in front of a mic because no one ever has trouble hearing me. But I'm going to do the best I can with this amplifier. Thank you for the introduction, Ms. Pruce. Although, doesn't it remind you a little like an ad for throat lozenges this morning? Yeah. Hang in there and get well. I am always amazed at graduation. If you look around at all the people who risked coming to downtown Houston. You know, how many of you had to take out a loan in order to pay the parking? Yeah, and which streets are one way and which streets are the other way? You know, it's quite challenging. So you graduates know this is important. And the reason it's important because it's one of those tremendous rituals that we have that shows what the American way is all about, and that is celebrate achievement. And that's what we're here about. So you graduates have a lot to be proud of it just by the audience. And, you know, for those of you who are out and not here at graduation but watching us on the streaming, we have quite an audience here. I wish we could pan it. The bottom line is, though, is that there's a reward today. And that reward is our guest speaker. I think one of the most important things is to sometimes see what the end game looks like. To see that we're talking about a career. And a career is about where you start, but more importantly, where you're going to finish. And having a great time getting there. That's what I did. And it certainly worked for me. But I am pleased to be able to present someone today who has actually started at our school and has developed a spectacular career. And he's here to tell you about it, and I'm really pleased to talk to you about him. Ernesto Gonzalez went to this school and graduated in 1990. And then he hit a bad streak. He worked for me for about 6 years. And after suffering that, he got very interested in family law. And this is important because some people, they want to work in certain areas of the law, and that's the great thing about the paralegal field is you have choices and opportunities. You know, you want to work in family law, you want to work in criminal law, you want to work for a corporation in that area. You've got all these choices. It's not all the same. And so Ernie found himself working in family law, one of the tough areas to work in, labor intensive, many times emotional. And he built his career to the point that he has become an independent consultant. In other words, if you have a monster divorce case involving millions of dollars, you call Ernie to help you with it. And if I need to know something on a family law case that I'm handling that is strange, I call Ernie. So do many lawyers. So he's going to talk to you about the career aspect today. He is board certified in both family law and civil trial law. He's one of 8 in the entire state that's achieved that. And he's also published articles. He does technical presentations because he's a techno wizard. And he's also a heck of a guy. I will tell you one brief story about him and I, because we have many to tell and some we can't tell here. But the fact is one day I had a lawyer that was working for me come into the office. And he came to talk to me about a raise. And I said, okay, start talking. And he said, I've been here 6 months. And I said, keep talking. And he finally said, I hear that there's paralegals that make more than I do here. And I said, I don't usually talk about other employees' business, but it's true. You want to know why? And he said, yeah. I said, because he's more valuable than you are. And so the point is that this is what achievement is all about. It's about creating value and doing good things. So I'm going to turn it over to our guest, and I hope you'll give him a very warm welcome, Ernie Gonzalez.
Well, after all these years, Mr. Swanson, I thought you'd remember my full name, which is Ernesto Adrián González Vera Salinas Marrón Román. That's why I just go by Ernie. Thank you, Director Happy, Dean Swanson, members of the faculty, family and friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2018. It is indeed an honor for me to be standing here in front of you this morning. You see, approximately 28 years ago, I was sitting right where you're sitting. Well, not exactly where you're sitting. See, our graduating class was at a pizza restaurant off Richmond Street after the lunch rush. True story. I honestly don't remember the name of the restaurant, or we had a commencement speaker. All I can tell you is my classmates and I were eager to get started working in the paralegal field. The Center for Advanced Legal Studies has certainly come a long way in 28 years. As proof, just look where your graduation is taking place. South Texas College of Law, Houston, one of the most respected law schools here in America. I can promise you, none of you will forget where your graduation was. Since 1990, the paralegal field has progressed tremendously. So much that I want to ask the graduates here, and this is important. How many of you think that after you graduate today, you're going to have a job? Okay? Let me ask it another way. How many of you don't think you're going to have a job? Well, I'm here to tell you that none of you are going to have jobs. Because what you're going to have is a career, and that's different than having a job. We all have jobs. At some point in our lives, some we liked, some we didn't. Sometimes a job is just something you do to get you to where you need to be to your next level. But a career is a little different, especially a paralegal career. On the other hand, a career as a paralegal is something more exciting and more rewarding. A paralegal is truly a 21st century field. It touches on so many opportunities to grow. Be on the lookout for growth and keep up with current trends and evolve. Understand that your ability to evolve enhances your ability to earn more. As a paralegal, you'll be assisting lawyers in providing legal services by utilizing skills that you have learned here at the school, knowledge that you've acquired from previous jobs, and life events that have had an impact on you. This is an awesome privilege, and it should not be taken lightly. The work you do will have an impact on somebody's life, and hopefully that'll be a positive impact. When I started my career as a paralegal, paralegals were not utilized in the private sector very well. Today, paralegals are fully integrated in practice of law, and more is expected from them. On any given day, attorneys are being pulled in many different directions, whether it be they have court hearings, mediations, arbitrations, meetings, etc. Yet they cannot neglect their clients. This is where you, as paralegals, bridge that gap between the attorney and the client. You'll be working with clients to keep them informed about what's happening in their case. Clients need to know that their case is a priority and that they're not just another client. It's a balancing act, and you will play an important part in helping clients get through their process, through their cases. In 1990, there were not many options for paralegals to advance in this field. There were and still are local, state, and national organizations that you can join. On the national level, there's the National Association of Legal Assistants, known as NALA. Their mission is to provide continuing education and professional development for all paralegals. Here in Houston, there are several local groups. The largest one is the Houston Metropolitan Paralegals Association. For the graduates around the country, check your local area for similar organizations. On the state level, at least here in Texas, you can join the Paralegal Division of the State Bar of Texas. The State Bar of Texas was the first association in the United States to create a separate division for paralegals. I encourage you to join both a local organization and the state bar in your state. The organizations help you build relationships with other like-minded paralegals who want to continue to grow in their fields. In 1994, the Texas Supreme Court passed a resolution allowing the Texas Board of Legal Specialization to provide specialty exams for qualified paralegals. Today, paralegals can apply and sit for specialty exams in the following areas: bankruptcy law, civil trial law, criminal law, oil and gas and mineral law, estate planning and probate law, family law, personal injury, and real estate law. So you can see the vast different areas that you all can seek. It's whatever calls your name, whatever you feel like doing. There's a lot out there. This exam is administered by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization once a year. There are certain qualifications, criteria that must be met before you can sit for the exam. However, you recall me talking a few minutes ago about how many of you are going to have jobs versus a career. Becoming board certified puts you at a different level. It'll take some time to get there, but you will get there. I encourage each of you to seek out this opportunity. It'll be a positive step in your paralegal career. Currently, there are 366 board certified paralegals in Texas. I'm certain that many of you out there, many of you graduates have a lot of questions as you're about to embark on your new career. My gift to you is to share a few tips I have learned from mistakes I have made over my career. I share these with you so perhaps you won't make the same mistakes. By the way, the following list is not comprehensive. It's just the top 10 that I could think of. Number 10, don't be intimidated by the size of a project. I can remember the first project I had working for Mr. Swanson. It involved a car accident case. He asked me to meet him at the office, I believe at 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday. And he took me into the office, introduced me to a couple of people, and he said, here, there's a case I want you to work on. He took me into an empty room, and there were boxes lying across the floor. He told me about the case, showed me how to make the coffee, and he says, I'll be back later. Just start organizing this and make it make sense to you. He left about 8:30. I didn't see him again until 9 o'clock that night. A true story. But when he got back, he said, all right, tell me what you found. And I explained to him what I did was I sat there and I organized what made sense to me. I opened the first box, there were medical records. I put them in date order. The next box, there were depositions. I said, I'm going to read this and kind of summarize them. But I spread everything out until it made sense to me. Then I just put it back together and I waited. I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. The point of the story is this: don't be intimidated by the size of the project. You all have heard that statement before, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's what you should do with projects like that. Excuse me. Number 9, be prepared and organized. There's no such thing as being too organized or too prepared. Spend time learning everything about your case. Read the documents and understand what they are and how they're important to your case. Organize the paper file, if there still is a paper file, to match your digital file. I can tell you the majority of attorneys I have worked with during my career were not organized. And understand this, attorneys can be disorganized, but paralegals cannot. They're going to depend on you to keep everything organized. You ever get that nervous stomach feeling that you haven't really prepared for a project, maybe an exam? I used to have that problem. And the only solution to help me was always being better prepared than the other side. There's nothing more intimidating than sitting across from your opponent in a courtroom and having them and seeing the counsel table with the books all laid out, the exhibits all laid out, their case studies, everything lined up. It's intimidating. I love doing that. I also like having our witness lists, everything ready to prepare, and we sit there and we're waiting for the other team to get in there. No such thing as being over-prepared or over-organized. Number 8, make sure your attorney looks good. Now, I'm not talking about doing makeup and hair or their nails. This tip actually happened to me during an interview with an attorney several years ago, and I ended up working for her for about 10 years. She said to me, Ernie, your number one job is to make sure I look good. And I was like, what? As time went on, I understood what she meant. When your attorney is well prepared and organized, judges and opposing counsels, they notice that. Judges will tell you that the team that is better prepared often, not always, prevails. The judges will also tell you that not being prepared is disrespectful to the court and their time. Ultimately, clients will benefit from the hard work put into their case. Take pride in the work product that you put out. Number 7, understand that clients lie. It's true. Clients lie to attorneys often. Trust what you're being told, but always verify it yourself. Ask questions, the tough questions. If something doesn't feel right in your gut, say something about it, speak up. The last place you want to hear some really bad facts about your client is when your client is on the witness stand for the first time. Ask questions. Number 6, and this is really not a tip, I feel like I don't have to say it, but I do want to say it. Treat everyone with respect. This is especially important when you're dealing with court personnel, the court clerks, the court coordinators, the bailiffs, the court reporters. These are the people that you're going to interact with for many years. Being rude to them is going to get you nowhere. You have to understand that they have to deal with a lot of people who don't want to be in the courthouse. Plus, they have to put up with attorneys with strong personalities. Number 5, and this is really important one, and Tom and Mr. Swanson hit on this earlier, embrace legal technology. Legal technology and modern law practice go hand in hand. Computers, paper offices, smartphones, and cloud computing are everyday tools of the modern paralegal. Technology makes it possible to be more efficient, more mobile, and efficiently mobile and more effective. The basic understanding of the technology is also essential in modern clients who are increasingly tax savvy and price sensitive. I don't like to admit this, but there are many lawyers out there who kind of wear it as a badge of honor, where they say, oh, I don't know anything about that technology. My paralegal takes care of that. Well, you all might be that next paralegal that's having to do that. I encourage you, embrace the technology, learn the technology. It truly is your friend. It makes your jobs easier. I wish we had some of the technologies 28 years ago when I started. Embrace it. Number 3, never stop learning. In Texas, if you're a member of the Paralegal Division of the State Bar of Texas, you have to have 6 hours of continuing legal education every year. Another way of staying relevant as a paralegal is to stay current with what is happening in the legal world. Cases are decided daily, and some cases will have an impact on the area of law that you're working in. I challenge all graduates to aim for 20 hours of CLE a year. And that may seem like a lot, but I promise you the investment of your time in doing so is worth it. Number 2, mistakes will happen. Understand that you will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Some are worse than others. If you've made a mistake that may have a negative impact on your client's case, own up to it immediately. Notify your attorney, and together figure out how to fix it. Many times what seems like a huge problem really isn't. Staying quiet and hoping that it'll go away won't solve it. Number 1, most important, be professional and ethical. Early in my career, I happened to walk into a courtroom where a hearing was taking place. I had missed the beginning of the hearing, but I quickly learned that a new lawyer had apparently not been completely honest about when something was done or when something wasn't done, and it really upset the judge. The judge said something that has stuck with me all of these years, and I want to pass this on to you. He asked the young lawyer, "Do you know what is the quickest thing you can lose at the courthouse?" The lawyer shook his head and said, "I don't." The judge replied, "Your reputation." There may come a day when someone, an attorney, a paralegal, friend, asks you to do something that's not ethical. You need to be prepared how you're going to deal with that situation. I was very fortunate to work with attorneys with the highest ethical standards. In closing, I want you to remember one quote from this. We do things by the book, by the numbers, no shortcuts, and we never lower our standards to the other side. I'm going to repeat that. Do things by the book, by the numbers, no shortcuts, and never lower your standards to the other side. If you keep this in mind, I believe you will make good decisions in your career. Thank you again for inviting me to spend some time with you this morning. Congratulations to all the graduates, your families, friends, and people that have helped you along the way. I wish you tremendous success. Thank you.
On behalf of the Center for Advanced Legal Studies, again, I do apologize for my voice. We would like to thank you, Ernie, for your inspiring, motivational speech and accepting our invitation as commencement speaker. In appreciation, we would like to present you with this token of our gratitude.
I want you to have something to remember this day by, because we all thank you so much for you being here.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
At this time, I would like to hand over the podium to Sarah Casey to recognize our graduates' accomplishments.
At this time, we would like to recognize our graduates. There are many who could not be here today at the ceremony and are watching streaming version online. I would like to take this time to recognize those individuals by name. Please hold your applause until the end. First, the certificate graduates. Ruth Aviles Abernathy, Lex. Nyla Aparova Donine, Lex and Honors. Crystal Armstead. Jennifer Bukowski. Sun Wee Bang, Lex. Vanessa Colbert Blackman. Erica Monique Cabarella. Bailey Ray Chambers. Jessica Lynn Champion. Jacqueline Cherney. Terica Childress. Tanya Lynn Crossman, Lex. Javon Shanae Daniels. Stephen Thomas English Jr. Sarah Marie Gabery. Paula Christine Hebb. Erica Hyman, Lex. Erin Diane Landrum, Lex. Nikki Lynn Lewis. Sandra Campos Mendoza. John Joseph Merchlinsky III, Lex. Brandy A. Meyer. Chris Monshine. Ricky McLeroy. Rachel Ortiz Rijos. Michael Christian Pitzer. Alexandra Nicole Porras, Lex. Randy Rivera. Jennifer Diane Rivera, Linda Rogers, Raven Rose Romero, Angela Kristen Salinas, Brittany Michelle Scarborough, Torre John Stella Lex, Rochelle Rachel Taylor, Crystal Lynn Temple Lex, Isabel Vasquez, Richard L. Walker, Nakira Weidman, Rhonda Yamin. Please give a round of applause for the certificate graduates who are not able to be here. Next, I would like to name the associate degree students who are unable to be here today. Cindy Garcia Cox, Judith Flores, Leslie Rebecca Green, Christy Gail Leja, Katina Adriana Lucas, Elizabeth Morgan O'Neill, Jared Allen Richards, Christina Rodriguez. Please, a round of applause for the associate individuals that could not be here today. Now it's time to recognize the certificate graduates who are able to be here today at the ceremony. Please rise. Lillian Joy Barboza, Lex. Cheryl Ray Bounds, Lex. Joanna Lynn Bowen Sanders, Lex. Norma Leticia Camarillo. Thomas Carroll, Lex. Fortune Leslie Digeny. Rochella L. Irwin. Megan Ashley Hurd, Lex. Gabriela Hernandez. Lance Gavin Johnson. Ashley Johnson. Lucia Creonos, Lex. April Luz Manrique. Brittany N. Merritt. Leslie Ann Marquecho, left. Jasmine Elizabeth Peters, Lex. Sarah Rachel Price. Leticia Adriana Rangel. Johnny Noel Rosado. Noah Samuel Valdez. Portia Renee Ward. Please give a round of applause for the certificate graduates. Next, we will recognize the Associate of Applied Science degree graduates. Clarence Adams. Angel Michelle Oranger. Kelly Maria Bartlett. Allison Dallas Bell. Brandy Q. Frank. Dora Gomez Garza. Brandy Nicole Gutierrez. Lisa Christina Hack, Lex. Kanisha Harris. Gabriela Herrera. Brittany Marie Mendoza. Tracy E. Mitchell. And last but certainly not least, Cassandra Torres. Associate degree graduates may now move your tassel. We want to congratulate all the graduates. We are excited and proud of your accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like for your family and friends to remain seated because we want to capture this moment with a photograph. So if you can please line up, and we will give you the opportunity to take yours as well. I will let you know, but first we want to line up the graduates. So can we please have the associate's degree graduates come here first, stand in the middle, and we will help you get organized for this photo. Certificate graduates, please join us.